What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Matty P here with another Steelers takeaway and reaction video. This time to the Steelers' loss, the embarrassing home loss against the Arizona Cardinals. The Steelers go down 24-10. Here's our 5 key takeaways. Well, the Steelers don't get it done today. I said coming into the game, third down was the key thing for fans to watch for. The Steelers were 4 for 11, 36%. That's not good enough on third down. It's certainly not good enough against a 2-10 Cardinals team. It does feed into that narrative of Mike Tomlin playing down to teams playing down to lesser opposition. Again, though, he doesn't take the field there, but this team clearly didn't get up for it, even after they had a lot to prove last week, getting the 400 yards, not getting the points. This week, we didn't get the points. They didn't get the yards either. From that perspective, they barely broke 320 there. So, in fact, they didn't. They missed by a couple of yards there on 320. So, third down, I said, was key. It just was not good enough. 4 from 11, 36%. Point number 2, it really comes down to Mason Cole. Like, Mason Cole, I thought, has had a horrific season. I didn't think he played that well last year. I got on the board based on what he did in the final few games last year, but it wasn't quite good enough from him most of the season. It wasn't good enough today. I think what it did for Kenny Pickett today was horrific. You can't not like Kenny Pickett and not attribute the fact to Cole. He's getting a lump of coal this Christmas if I was Santa Claus. But you also saw him with a poor snap to Trubisky that he fumbled. That's a turnover. That's really not good for the Steelers when you're behind. You can't do that. They got to look at center next year. I said they should look at center and inside linebacker going into the trade deadline, and they didn't do either of those things. And, now we've got an issue with Landon Roberts too. So that's my second point on Roberts. Look at the ILBs. What's this going to be for this Steelers team? It's a real concern, I think, for this team going down the stretch of the season. Now, hopefully Landon Roberts is fit. The 4-day turnaround against the Patriots, that's going to be a problem. Belichick will scheme that way. That's something the Steelers are going to have to fix as well. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was the 9 penalties. That is just not good enough, especially the ones on offense. It just hurts you badly. Even Broderick Jones, unfortunately, was on that list today with the penalties. You're not going to win in close games if you're going to commit 9 penalties. It's just not going to happen. So this is something the Steelers team have struggled with in particular games, and it's particularly games that they're down in. That it's just not good enough, or games that they lose. Penalties come into play, and when you're playing low-margin football, which is what they're doing, it's just not good enough. So there's that as well. I wanted to talk about TJ Watt as well. Obviously, thumbnail here. Congratulations to him, 14.5 sacks on the season. He continues to do it. If he was fit, I definitely think he'd be 100 sacks in 100 games. We'll have to see whether he can continue to do that. But, yeah, it's a big concern. If he's missing now, not just this week against the Patriots, but in the next few weeks, he's everything for this team. As Mike Tomlin said, he's the best defensive player in the world. He's an alien. We've heard that before. And to me, he's just an absolute legend. You can't afford for him to be out if the team's going to play like this, particularly if they're going to be playing backup quarterbacks. So, look, that's our 5 takeaways and reactions, and I think I'll give you a bonus one in there just for kicks for those that you made it this far. I think it's got to be Mason this week if Kenny's not right to go. I don't think Mitch can play. Those Mitch fans out there, mate, 11 from 17, fine, but for 1 TD, but like 11 receptions for 117 yards. Like, yeah, you averaged 10, but we needed more from that, from him in the snaps that he had available. Yeah, I just think they've got to try something new here. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Steel fans, keep the faith. As always, go Steelers.